Peace. This is Asa Don here at the Zion Gates Learning Center for another edition of Positive Energy and also educating at the same time. And do remember, I'm always open to having all walks of life come through to build as long as you have a sound and thorough build. Today I'm here with Professor Kason Allah, and today's topic is on the F.O.A, otherwise known as the fighting of Allah, the fruit of Allah, which we call the 120 Styles. This is a new book that's in progress and will be coming out through Supreme Understanding publication in the near future. So I got the brother here. We about to go in on this book. We about to go in on martial arts, a lot of history on the nation of gods and earths, and we're gonna take it from there. So peace, brother Kason. How you?
Peace, Asa. How you doing, my brother?
All right, no doubt.
That's right.
All right, let's bring this knowledge home on this. Let's start off with a little bit of understanding F.O.A. What I try to do in the book, I try to give you an understanding of the F.O.A. in general. What the fruit of Allah. You see, we are Allah's sons, or Allah's children, or Allah's chosen ones. You know, and even though when you first take a look at F.O.A., right, you're gonna say, oh well, you're just talking about the 5%, right? If of those who will understand it, because you would say that, well, we're his fruit, which is right and exact. So when we understand where the F.O.A. came from, right? Actually, the F.O.A. always existed.
Okay.
Since the beginning of time.
No doubt.
F.O.A. always existed.
How is that?
This is why we interpret the fruit of Allah as being his sons, his warriors, right? And we say the fighting of Allah. If you was to read certain scriptures of the Bible, especially in the Quran, all they talking about is fighting the way of Allah, fight in the name of Allah. That means F.O.A.
True indeed.
Fight in the way of Allah, F.O.A.
I feel you.
Right?
I feel you.
And there's no greater fighter than God. God always takes up all challenges for all people, whether you a Muslim, or God body, or in God mind. Don't forget God mind. A lot of people say God body, but we God mind. You know what I'm saying? Or you are a Christian, or even if you Buddhist or Hindu or any spiritual or even a religious person, your patriot is God. He fights for you.
True indeed.
Right? So this is some of the meanings of the F.O.A. And like I said, it originated with our father Allah, right, and his sons. But like how I explained in the story is that, you know, the father was in the mosque, you know, and because he was skilled in his training forms, you know, he trained in the Korean War.
Right.
Man, Korea was no joke back then. You know, the northern Koreans were the ones we were fighting against, and the southern Koreans were our allies. But from what I understand, both units were vicious with the martial arts, right? And the particular style that they had learned was an old ancient style of Korea called Takyon, which is also the supreme energy or true existence. Takyon is the energy that exists everywhere. So it's interesting that the Koreans use that as a form of fight.
Yeah.
So, anyway, what I want to touch base on is that it is understood, right, or acknowledged, because we act upon that knowledge that the father learned Takyon. Takyon is what is assimilated form of what they made today is Taekwondo.
Okay,
hand foot fighting.
I was thinking that I could hear the
right.
Quan in there, Taekwondo.
Taekwondo, right, was the original form of fighting, hands, feet, you know, weapons, and they had some other types of Korean forms that were ancient too, that were called subak. I can't call the name of another one right now. And subak or subek is also related to one of the Egyptian princess and queens from ancient Kemet time. That it is acknowledged that she also was a warrior princess, and that it is let's say believed,
no doubt,
that style may have transitioned over into Korea during that early time when Japan was connected to Korea, and they would travel back and forth to Met, right? We'll go into that history a little later. So I don't want to go too far off track. So the father, right, was somewhat learned in Taekwondo. I'm not going to say he was a master of the art, because at that day and time of the Korean War, per se, Taekwondo, the Korean nationalist form of fighting, did not exist. So what form of fighting was the Koreans doing? It wasn't Taekwondo, not per se by name, but it was unarmed combat of hand and foot fighting, which they recognized, the Koreans, as Taekwondo. So if they trained the father in military combat in Korea, then he learned Taekwondo. You understand what I'm saying? Now, some brothers I've met, some real older guards, firstborn guards, they tell me that the father also was stationed in Japan. And it's interesting that they would say that, because they say that he learned Goju, hard soft style of karate from Gosei Yamaguchi himself. Now, a lot of, other martial arts will look at that and be like, hard to believe. But Gosei did travel to many countries to show he's known as the cat. He's the one they call the cat. Cat styles, So the cat was real big back in the 60s. They had to do the cat style. And the father, twine style, looks like a little Goju cat part, which is called tensho. In the style they do tensho, they do like that. And a lot of brothers that I've met that show me they twine style, when they say this is what the father taught them and showed them, they all do this. They all do this move like this. And I say, that's tensho. The father learned Goju cat style. Because it'd be kind of strange or hard to believe that the father learned Goju in Korea. The Okinawans and the Japanese ain't like the Koreans, and vice versa. Okay. Not to say that they ain't learned that style, because little as it is known that the original form of Taekwondo, if people would study the ancient form of Taekwondo when it was nationalized. See, the Koreans became nationalized, and that's when all the Korean masters came together, and to make it a national art and sport, they named it Taekwondo. But the arts that they learned was mostly from the military of the men that were fighting in the war. They were all learned in Japanese karate. The headmaster, who is the founder of Taekwondo, name is General Choi. General Choi was a master of karate, Japanese karate. And if you look at the form of the ancient Korean katas, Chunji and Tagun and Ilgok and Moon and all of those forms, you will see that they have a lot of Japanese connection with it. If you know Japanese karate, and then you look at Korean karate, as far as those katas, the katas that they exhibit. If you watch the katas, they are basically the same. It is though the Koreans kind of spiced it up, with a kick here and a kick there, or a different block here and a strike there, to make it more theirs. Today, those Korean styles have, I believe they did this sometime in the 80s, that they went back and they did all the katas over. So today they are more, as you would call Korean, more nationalized in effect with them. A lot of older head martial arts masters will bear witness to that. They will affirm that as being true. No doubt. That the Japanese, that the Koreans had changed what General Choi had. Some Taekwondo schools still stick to the old way of the katas, the old form of the freestyle. So what I'm saying is, before the Taekwondo came about, there was the Taekwondo with the father. So the father came here, and he was instructed to teach in the mosque, because his martial arts skill. Father was bad. You know what I'm saying? He was fast as lightning. They say fast as grease lightning. Nobody could touch him. And there were some other brothers that that they met. And why I'm saying this in this form, you don't understand, man. In that day and time, and I was a young child, so I know the emphasis of what brothers taught. There was only one small emphasis that they were structured on, and that was not to eat pork, and that was it. They wasn't trying to teach no 7-year-old, 8-year-old, 12-year-old child degrees of lessons. The degrees were holy. The degrees they stayed in the mosques.
Right, right.
You know what I'm saying? Nobody
Indeed.
wasn't getting no
Indeed.
knowledge.
Yeah, exactly.
You couldn't get knowledge by word of mouth.
Yeah.
I'm not showing you no scriptures.
Indeed.
Scriptures is holy.
Indeed.
You know, back in the days, they talk about Israel and the tribe of Israel and all that.
Yeah, yeah.
They said anybody touch the ark, be
Oh, no doubt,
destroyed.
no doubt.
Anybody
Yeah,
go
yeah.
to look at the
Yeah,
scripture
yeah.
or be destroyed.
Yeah.
God would strike you with a bolt of lightning or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
So you couldn't touch the scriptures.
True.
And Elijah Muhammad was powerful. He was the God of gods at that damn time. He was our messenger.
Right.
But he was taught by God directly. Master Prophet Muhammad. You know, the wisest man on the planet to our knowledge at that day and time. Allah is the wisest one among us. Right?
Yeah, I like how you put that
Right.
when you said at that day and time.
At that day and time.
You know what I mean?
So, you know, and this is how the 24 scientists, their hierarchy works like that. The order of it works in that same order. Who's the wisest one among us? And it goes like that. That's always been in history. So for millions and millions of years, the wisest one amongst us is always one to lead. Right? Unlike in this country, the blind lead the blind, so we all just go off to this
perish, yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah, indeed.
So like I said about the father, right? The father was in the mosque, and because he was trained in that degree, that knowledge basically ain't hit the streets. You know, minus what Malcolm X propagated.
Right.
See, Malcolm X was the tool that God, the hand of God wielded.
Right.
Right? He was the tool, because other than that, knowledge was basically kept a secret from only ones who unless you became some form of a Mason, black Mason. And I mean by that Freemason, because there's a difference between Freemason and Mason, and especially in this country. I don't even know if there are any true Masons in this country. You know, they take on a different characteristic.
So how you see the difference?
It's more in their structure and order, because you see, I understand the history. I don't want to get too far off this track about the simple science, but it goes into the history of the Caucasian man himself, you know, being a degenerate of Europe. So when he decided to become one of the trade, you know, they wasn't just giving it to him. Like,
right.
You know what I'm saying? So he had to get it in the sense that it wasn't certified, you know, so it's free. Here, give it to you. You know, it's a free Mason. We'll give you what's available. You know, this is why before they're even given to the highest rank of the 33rd and the 1/3, they got to go through so many rites. They got to go through the Shriners, or they got to go through the elves, or they got to go through whatever else degree, just to get that little 1 degree of knowledge that we already possess.
Indeed.
You know, that melanin, like they call it.
Right.
That degree of knowledge.
No
that
doubt.
melanin, that blackness.
No doubt.
You know what I'm saying? Because all they trying to do is be what? Black.
Yeah, indeed.
You know what I'm saying? Because that's what the lessons teach, that they said from 35 to 50 years, just the what come among us. If you coming amongst me, you trying to be what? Like me.
Right.
So that's their whole time. But let me get on back to the father, right? And what I want to say is that about I'm trying to break the knowledge down to you so you can understand that in that day and time, it wasn't given like that.
Yeah, it just wasn't.
No.
Indeed.
How was the knowledge given? Through the martial arts. Through the martial arts, man. At that damn time, right? In the 60s, I'm talking about early 60s, you know, there was a lot of civil rights movements going on. We didn't know what was going to take place. We didn't know from this day to the next on what was going to happen. We older brothers knew for sure we were going to war.
Yeah,
in this country.
War. Yeah.
Not Vietnam War, this war, Civil War.
Oh, Civil War.
With the
Yeah.
white man.
Yeah.
See, now the Vietnamese war was one war they was fighting out there, and brothers were saying, why should I go fight for this white man when I need to fight for a war right here? You know what I'm saying? Because
not to cut your wisdom, but
Yes,
that's what Muhammad Ali had stressed on.
Exactly.
He stressed on that same thing.
And where did Muhammad Ali come from? He's coming out the mosque.
Indeed.
You see what I'm saying?
That's when he became from Cassius Clay to Muhammad Ali.
Right.
And
exactly.
he gained the knowledge of himself through the mosque, like you said, and said
From
he's not going.
Malcolm X.
Right.
From Malcolm X himself. So whatever greater knowledge you can get that you get from Malcolm X is it.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And Malcolm X would come out there and he would teach and preach to the people on the street. Right? And he would get some of them to come into the mosque. But some of the children were too young. Okay. You just couldn't come into the mosque like that there. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Brothers had ways of getting information. You could come to the sermons or to the ministers' meetings where they would speak the speaks. You know, and they would have them at the temples, or like Malcolm X would have them at the Audubon Theater, and there was another place he would have them too. It escapes my mind at the moment. But there was children, especially from Harlem, that when they would intercede this knowledge, it would take hold of them and they would become so crazy. Because a lot of times, you know, you'll see something or hear something or feel something that'll make you suspect a thing, but you don't know it's for the truth or for the surety until someone comes out and points it directly to you.
Right.
And this is what Malcolm X did. He came out and pointed to you. I'm going to show you who your enemy is. Did you running around here thinking I'm your enemy, robbing and sticking me up and all this, or doing drugs? Because, see, drugs was very high in the 60s as well as gangs. In fact, all we had was gangs. I was even in. Let me tell you something. It didn't took a certain while ago. I had a little meeting and conversation with my mother, and my mother told me she was in a gang. She was in an old girl gang.
No doubt.
She's a minister, a Christian.
Yeah.
So I'm saying to myself, you in a gang. But see, this is the early history of blacks who have migrated from the countries, from the north and south of Carolinas, mainly from the north and south of Carolinas to New York City. And when they migrated there, in order to maintain a family structure and to keep together, they became gang members.
Yeah,
from the different areas.
Yeah, it was so many, like, you know, New York is a melting pot. They got so many nationalities of the world there that every nationality had their own little clique.
That's right. In fact, the white man, or Caucasian man, in fact, the Dutchmen, which were the first people that founded New York City, right? New Amsterdam. Right. They were the first gang members. But their protection of their gang wasn't as strong and structured as until the Irish came over here. The fighting Irishmen? Oh my God, they were crazy. You know, they drink and they get foul wild anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they basically was of the first structures of the gangs, and they had their little ins and outs and wars, and then I believe it was the Italians, it might have been a string of Germans and Jews. And the outcome of all that power, as you know, became the Italians and the Jews, because they run New York City. Right. So you know how that went. And I kind of instructed in my book how we understand that it was a time when PAL, the police athletically tried to put a detour to the children that were being in poverty and going out there doing things. And let me tell you about the jail. They used to show us this on TV. It was the East Side Kids and the Boundary Boys.
Okay.
Right? See, all this is talking about the lower sides of Manhattan.
Yeah.
Right? And Brooklyn.
Yeah.
This is what they're talking about. And this is where the gangs were strongest at.
Right.
At the earliest periods of time. We're talking about since the 1920s, 1930s, 1940s, and that's and this basically time right here. And where I get the history from, I'll tell you in a minute. As these gang structures started coming together and having their little turf time. See, the whole war thing became about turf. Right. Because I'm surviving, I got to make a living. Now blacks ain't really have too much, but we sticking together. Right. That's all we got. That's all we got. Is family. Ain't no internet. Not yet. Right. So there's no connect like that there. This is all we got ourselves. Now the whites would run the Lower East Side and the Bowery Side and all that, where the freights with boats coming in. Right. See, this is how when the Italians and the mafias got big, because you had Lucky Luciano was running the whole show. He was running the whole show. Then the other one was Scarface Al Capone. But I was more in Chicago more than New York. In New York you had like the Italian mafias that was up here. Now, they had their little things to do, but the little white boys, the little gangs, the little members on the block, they would go to do the little crimes. Right. They break into the warehouses. They break into the docks. They get stuff, and they take it to the gang. Especially with the prohibition, bootlegging, and the little merchandise that they had. Some of this stuff they would bring to the black gangs. This is how black gangs got big and popular. Okay. So the white guy couldn't fence it, couldn't get it off. Whatever was left. Right. And he said, look, I got this for you. Or whatever your name might have been, Mackie or Joey or whatever, I got this for you, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you sell this shit, and you give me this for it, or can you pay for it now, whatever contract they have. Right. You know what I'm saying? And now, he bring this to my hood, right, and I sell this, I'm the man. Sure. I'm the big man now. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm holding it down, and this is our turf. Now, whoever tried to entertain into that turf, this is where the turf war is coming from. In fact, in the PAL, it's a lot of times some of these first games were coming about because the PLLs were only structured in the white communities. So when the blacks tried to go there to play football and other little sports and have athletic and physical activities, they were prevented. And see, I know about this for sure because, you know, there's certain areas In Brooklyn, even to this day, or in New York, certain areas to this day, where there's a vast white community that if they see a black person walking down that block, you know, it's going to be trouble. You know, they would chase you out the neighborhood.
Right.
And I had to fight at times, you know, to get from point A to point B. Especially, you know, during my high school days, because at that damn time you were zoned out of the neighborhood to another school where whites and blacks existed together.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So the PLL tried to put a structure to crime by having these physical activities, but from getting from here to there caused a problem.
Indeed.
You know what I'm saying? This is where a lot of the gangs started happening. This has been as early as, from what I understood in the reading, 1921. That's how early gangs has been in New York City.
Right.
You know, New York City was the first place to have gangs.
Yeah, I know that.
You know, okay?
Yeah.
So, basically, now we're going to come back up to what I was saying about us being in the father in the temple, was that outside of that, we were just gangs. Everybody was gangbanging. I was a gangbanger. I was in what was called the B-Hawks.
Okay.
The baby tomahawk. I was a tomahawk.
No doubt.
You know what I'm saying? I'm little. I don't even know what the heck I'm doing. I'm just following.
Right. Right.
I'm just going with whatever it is.
Yeah.
But my love and heart was for karate. I remember when we used to have classroom fights.
Yeah.
With other I don't know if they was other gang members or what, but we were the hawks, so we didn't care, and we would go into a classroom while the teacher was teaching and beat everybody up in the classroom.
Yeah, yeah.
And they would pick me to go kick the door open because
Right.
I had the karate kick. I was good with karate kick.
No doubt.
I was running through a jumping flying kick the whole door open, bam!
Yeah.
You know, go running in there,
Yeah.
beat the baby. Even the teacher gets smacked,
Yeah.
you know. And we was only in 7th, 8th grade.
Yeah.
Right? But, you know, that's how it was. See, we all began, that's all we had, a gang mentality. That's all we knew. It was the Father who deterred our minds. Thanks to the Father Allah, because I think to this day, you see how gang has, the gang scene has easily squeezed back into the community.
I was about to ask you that, but I didn't want to get you off subject
Right?
again.
And what I'm saying is, see, that's because the knowledge is not strong on the streets. Because, see, they don't have anything to go for. See, now they're looking at, and the devil gonna give you this here to advertise this, because that's all based on devilishment and negativity. So he gets you the BET, and he gets you the dance and the romp, and he gets you these, what is going on today, which is foul, is the reality shows. I mean, when you watch them,
Yeah, they off the hook.
they are sending bad messages out.
Yeah.
And people say, oh, no, I know that. I said, let me tell you something. The soul is like a sponge. Right? It absorbs. If you keep absorbing this negativity, you'll be so full with negativity, overpower your positive. And then when something happens to you, you know how you're going to react? Not in knowledge,
Yeah.
not in intelligence. You're going to react foul and wild, like a savage.
Exactly.
So you have to be careful. I don't like to just see or hear or smell things of a negative nature. You know, and I think in one of the books we have here, based on one of the lost books of the Bible, they speak of a chapter about Tawbah. I think his name is Tawbah. It's one of the Maccabee versions, right? And in it, the angel asked the prophet Tobah to go see this wisdom, right? And when he went to go see this wisdom, he said, a foul spirit is with her that will not allow me to see her.
Right.
So to make it short, he told the prophet to take some incense and oil, right? And I think he told him to kill a fish or something like that in that same nature. But what I'm saying is the nature of this was that he put a certain fragrance together and said, present this to him. And when the spirit smelled that, the spirit would leave. You know why? Because spirits don't like nothing that smell good.
Right.
Just like a positive person ain't gonna like nothing that smells bad. You see, flies like the odor of feces.
Right.
So they're attracted to that.
Right.
Because that's their nature.
Right.
So when the devil smells something good, he gonna leave. In fact, you'll be around certain people and you'll check out their character and you'll have on a certain mustard or a certain
frankincense.
a frankincense or a myrrh or jasmine or whatever, right? And they'll be like, what's that smell?
It stinks.
Yeah. But then you'll go inside Sam's Southern house food house, and they cooking swine and sausage,
Smell like pork.
and they say, ooh, that smell good.
Everybody laughing.
See how the negative lives there?
Indeed.
The evil spirit
Indeed.
lives there.
Indeed.
You see what I'm saying? All right, let's go back. Okay, so like I said, thanks to Allah that we are not gangbangers today. You know, we just need to get back out there and propagate, because I truly believe that eventually, you know, people's minds come to a whole, black people's minds come to a whole, and they say, I'm tired of this. You know, I mean black people, I mean original people.
Indeed.
You know, because, you know, you just look at the complexion of my skin, you would think, okay, that's just black. But there are people that are very much lighter than me that is black-minded, and they just need to find it. All right? And once they do that, they will get out of those tendencies of wanting to be in gangs or do drugs or crime or anything that is negative, anything that is a sin. A sin is that which a sin is that which keeps you away from your purity. That's what a sin is. When they talk about in the Bible and all that stuff, that's not what sin is. Sin is anything that makes you lesser than what you could have been. That's like when a person kills somebody and they say, oh, you've done one of the most unforgivable sins. You know why? Because you took away something. And this is why Jesus said about sin. He don't weigh and judge sin. He said if you lie or if you cheat, it's as though you murdered a man.
Yeah, it's all the
because
same.
it's all sin. Because you took away the praise of God. The praise of God could have been there, but you just took it away. That is sin. Now, I'm not saying that you couldn't be forgiven for whatever you do, but see, now you got to make it up. All right? Yeah. I remember in the movie South Central, the guy was saying about if you kill a man, you can never return that favor. You can never be amended. You can't never amend it. So, you know, that is a very high quality. You know, but death and killing has been in this world since the world began.
No doubt.
All right? I can tell you who was the first killer. I'll tell you a story that God told us a little later. We're going to the origin of the martial arts. Because, in fact, in order to understand the origin of martial arts, you got to understand what was the first war. All right? Because that's where it started at. Okay, let me get back into the law so I can just clarify that Allah was the master of the martial arts, that when he left the mosque, right, because in that day and time, a lot of people were leaving the mosques for different reasons. But for whatever their reasons were for, and for a lot of people to say he left for this, you know, one brother told me, you know, Allah wanted money, man, and you know, he just couldn't do one and do the other. Just didn't work with him, right? And he had got what he had got anyway. So the Father left and came to give it to us. He knew that was who needed it. Right. You know what I'm saying? So when the Father came to the streets, and just to back up just a minute, like with the Harlem Six, right, or what they proclaim to be blood brothers, because, you know, our God don't like that title. He calls them blood brothers. You know what I'm saying? And it's just because, you know, the way how it was presented out there. Because what he told me, he said there wasn't no blood brothers in no organization. There wasn't no gang, is what he was saying. There wasn't no gang. They just was brothers that became conscious of what was going on in the streets. We left the gangs. We all was in gangs. We left the gangs, but at that damn time we didn't know what to call ourselves, what to become a part of. We just saw that there was this burning bush out there, as the sister said, and it had this light, this attraction, and we just went to it. And we saw in the pulpit Malcolm speaking, and Malcolm started speaking. You know, because I spoke to the guy one time. He told me about Malcolm was talking about the mother plane.
Oh, yeah, the mother plane.
He said that was it.
Yeah.
He said that was it, boy. He said he ain't never been so scared in his life, you know. But see, Malcolm had a way of making things real. Right. You know, and these brothers, you know, they were being harassed by the police, as the Harlem Six being harassed by the police, and brothers came to their aid and taught them martial arts. And it said some of them they said they taught them martial arts on the rooftop, where I think it was 129 feet, if I'm not mistaken, where they fly their pigeons at. You know what I'm saying? Because you know, back then, flying pigeons was a big thing.
Yeah, people used to have pigeons on the roof.
It's a big thing, man. Yeah. And you know, these brothers, you know, they were training in martial arts, you know, to protect themselves. Yeah. And as it just, you know, I think a stigma came about, you know, blood brothers, because like I spoke to another elder, right, good brother of mine, and he said, when I asked him about the blood brothers, he was saying how what happened was, you know, you wouldn't see one without the other. Right. That's what made them blood brothers. You know, you see a younger brother and an older brother, they be together, and the older brother was held responsible for the younger brother. So this is what made them blood brothers. and then like catch 22, it coined on. Next thing you know, there's an old timer sitting up in the barbershop, seeing y'all turn the corner. Oh, here come them blood brothers again. Yeah. And then they know it's good though, because the blood brothers gonna stand for justice. And they wouldn't allow nothing to go down in the community in front of them. Like police brutality or any kind of harassment, whether it's to a woman or to a man, or elderly, right? So this is what they did. They stood for justice. They protected their community, and this is a good thing. And this is how, the scheme of things went for many times. Like, I lived in Medina, but you would see the same thing go on to show you that, blood brother just wasn't by name, but it was his spirit. Right. What was his heart? And I was trained by a blood brother, because, like I said, like I also mentioned here, karate or martial arts, that was the order of the day. It wasn't knowledge like that. It was karate, man. Male, female, everybody learned karate. Right. I didn't see too many sisters, but if you did meet a sister, look out. Shoot, a sister was nasty in it because she had to be, right? And she could kick brothers' butt, whip their tail easy, and she was hard up. And I ain't talking about no, butchie looking like a type of sister. I'm talking about fine looking sister too. She ain't had to be built or big or nothing, but she was smooth, she was sweet. She was focused and sincere. Right. She knew if it took her to take somebody out, she knew exactly what to do. You know what I'm saying? Because I even just sparred just to play with one, and I had to tell her to stop, back off, because she hurt me. Right. Whoa, you striking death strikes. Right. Whoever taught her only taught her the death strikes, how to protect herself. She ain't trying to hurt you. She's trying to kill you, man. Yeah. If she's trying to hurt you, you're gonna be knocked out where, there's no more coming back to that. She can easily walk off the zone. So this is the type of training they have. And if you look at what they're teaching in some of the schools today, it's nothing like the martial arts that they taught back in the 60s or 70s. The martial arts there was, like if a Korean style taekwondo or Japanese karate style, there wasn't too many Okinawan styles on the East Coast. They were basically only jiu-jitsu, right? Such as like Professor V and Master Moses Powell and few styles. And then you had some karate stuff. In fact, I do have a mention of the names of the karate masters that taught back in that day and time. If I could just read off some of their names, because I want to give them a little shout out, because these were what brung that knowledge to me, and these were the youths that were trained and studying the vast martial arts like karate and jiu-jitsu, which was only the arts that were basically only prevalent in New York. As far as anything Okinawa, it would be hard to go. But anyway, it was a famous masters such as the great Grandmaster Professor Elmore, right? Grandmaster Ed Pugh, old Sensei George Cofield, great Grandmaster Professor Visitation, Professor and Grandmaster Dr. Moses Powell, Grandmaster Frank Ruiz, Professor Ronald Moore Taganashi, and those brothers I just named, they all went back home to the essence. Praise be to Allah. I hope he's feeling very well at this day and time. Grandmaster Ron Duncan, which we should understand is the black ninja. He was no joke. All right? Hoping his health is very well at this day and time. In addition, was Grandmaster Black Uhura of the Kemet in Medina or Brooklyn, over there off of it's in Bed-Stuy, right? There was also Grandmaster Sifu Stewart, the Professor and Grandmaster Karate George Stewart. There was Shihan Master Shaka Zulu. Peace be unto him. Old Sensei Leon Major Wallace of Harlem, the King of Harlem Karate. Old Sensei Thomas the Puppy, which is one of my instructors. I was what is called his 10 house student.
What does that mean?
That means around the block, down the block was a fire station where he worked at. Right? He would train me in there. Okay. I was a 10 house student. I trained. He was a fireman. Right. So he would train me in Shotokan karate and advance my Shotokan. I had a new Shotokan karate. Advance me in some lessons of Shotokan karate and in Kobudo, which is weapons. Okay. Right. And he was a master of the nunchucks. In fact, he was a master of all of the Okinawan weapons. He would have sais, tunfas, nunchucks, you name it. He could use it. Yeah. He was no joke, right? Peace and blessings to him. He went at home. Old Sensei Steve Austin, Old Sensei Soki Pierre, And last but not least, old sensei master Mad Monk, who was, like I say, one of the blood brothers. He was a karate master of the 60s. He would walk around of anybody else. You know, most of the time you see brothers, they would walk around with a cane, a regular street clothes, or an army fatigue. You know they were serious.
Right.
Right? Master Monk would wear his karate gi.
Yeah. No doubt.
He marched up and down the block. He wasn't no bigger than that either.
Yeah.
You know, he's about maybe 5'5", right? Very knowledge-y, very dark-skinned, right? Rough looking. And he would walk around in this black karate gi, this black belt, and he would take us from off the street. Yo, you, come on in. We'd go somewhere, and he'd train us on a rooftop or in the basement or have us. Like I tell in the book, he clean up a whole apartment, right? A whole abandoned building.
Yeah.
You know, because there's probably people who know that world an old abandoned building.
Yeah. Oh yeah, abandoned buildings back in New York.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He go to old abandoned building and clean up the place, right? And I can remember he had us there striking and punching the wall, bam, knocking the plaster off.
Right.
For hours, man.
Right.
And see, this is the type of training they had. It wasn't no little bit. No, and we sat in the horse stance, man. For maybe 2 or 3 hours. I mean, I can remember my legs were shaking, and I was like ready to cry, man. I just thought, you know, cause I said I know one thing. I remember to this day he had the right name, Mad
Monk, right?
Yeah. So these were the karate teachers of the neighborhood, right? And they would go out like blood brothers, because a blood brother, as I put it here, even though what it has been atoned to seem to society, a blood brother is a person who would do anything for his brother. He would live and die for his brother, because you know they are one. This is the true meaning of a blood brother.
Right.
You know, and this is what they did. They taught us, and they taught us for free, and they taught us combat. You know, at that time I know that from because you know back then you ain't know nothing about the arts, because a lot of it they were taught by Japanese or whatever, Okinawans or Chinese, so you speaking in their language. So now they're gonna translate that to us. East, niece, not son, you know, counting and stuff.
Okay.
You know, counting in Korean or counting in Japanese, and we doing the moves like that. So we hardly know what's what for many years. But as I began to want to understand the martial arts, its culture, the history, the language, I went back and I could certify. Okay, what he was teaching me was Shotokan karate. What he was teaching me was Goju karate. You know, and for many years, that was what was being trained inside of the New York-based communities. Basically, Shotokan karate and Goju karate, right? Some kung fu. Very little. We had to go to Chinatown to learn kung fu. The brother I know, F.O.A. man named he went back home named Master Snoop. Master Snoop, right? He learned Fujai Pow from the master in Chinatown and would come and teach it to us. He was a little older than me.
Yeah.
Right? This guy's hands looked like cement. I mean, his hands was always ashy. I didn't think putting lotion on it could help him. He was just nasty.
Yeah.
He had the real rusty, hard hand.
Yeah.
You know, and up there when we get into the 52. See, he would do 52, but he would have a chlorine effect to it. You know, he'd do a block, bomb, bomb. He'd hit with the chlorine. He could rip your face off. I seen him fight a guy hit him one time. Guy was out, went running down the block, holding his face. I don't know if the face came off or not.
Yeah.
But you know, and see, like I said, back in that time, we ain't had computers, we ain't had internet stuff, so we had to fight.
Right.
That's what we do. Love fighting. That's all we can do is just fight, man.
No doubt.
You know, we practice, we train hard. That's what we do, fight, man. So to get back now, to give you a little idea of the structure of the society of that day. So like I said, karate, that was the order of the day. Everybody learned karate, if you wanted to or not. You know, some kids, they came and joked, you know, wasn't serious, come and go. In fact, when I was naming the type of styles, I just want to put it there that the Koreans didn't come to this country to teach karate till about 1970.
Okay.
I was one of the first blacks to train in Taekwondo. In fact, I was one of Master Shu Chung Kang's students that was black. It was only about to my knowledge, there was only 1 or 2 more other black people there besides me.
No doubt.
Right? And I had left Master Monk in them for a certain reason. I put in the book that I understood it was for something else. But in that damn time, like I said, you couldn't see the scriptures. You know, and one day, two other students that was with us, they had karate gis, man. Anybody had no karate gis? We trained in street clothes. Karate gi from where? Where you gonna buy it from?
Yeah.
With what money?
Right.
How you gonna get it? Your parents? We on welfare.
Indeed.
Nobody got no money for no karate gi. You crazy?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But here these two guys, they were like twins, right? But they were like a couple of months apart. They got black karate gis on, walking down the block with a shiny white belt.
Right.
I'm like, what in the world? and at that damn time, a white belt.
Right.
Back then, destroy a black belt today.
Oh, for real?
Oh, man.
Okay, so that's
with a common basic
well, you
technique.
said then, so what about now? You said it was a white belt was above a black belt then.
No, I'm just saying the way how we were taught.
Okay.
That the white belts of that day and time would destroy a black belt today.
Okay. Oh.
And I'm sure,
okay,
I'm sure the martial arts masters, they know what I'm talking about. Those out there that had trained since the 60s and 70s, they will confirm that.
No doubt.
A white belt. In fact, I got all the way up to a green belt with Mad Monk. And when I went to started training in Taekwondo, you know, they had to simmer me down because I was too wild and out of control. My techniques were too crazy.
Yeah.
You know, but they smoothed me out in the right way because, you know, you can only fight fire with fire.
Right.
So they would find somebody to calm them down.
Yeah, no doubt.
Okay, you need to be with him.
Yeah,
Hey, a white boy.
Yeah.
I don't remember his name, man, but I tell you, boy, he was so vicious. You could put him in the MMA thing.
Yeah.
The martial arts thing.
Yeah. Cage fighting.
Oh man.
Yeah.
He'd tear anybody out the frame.
Yeah.
You know, I was scared of him. You know, at the time I had knowledge of self, and they would say, "I'm not scared of no devil, no white man. Don't let no white man beat you." You know, because that was the concept that they would teach in the streets.
Indeed.
You know, you a warrior, black man. How could you let a white man beat you? You know what I'm saying? And I'm thinking back of my mind, man, I can't.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I was fighting him, man. They always match us up together because I was the same size as him. He was brolic. Come at me and boom, or kick me, bam. I'll be flying all the way on the room and stuff. That's why, you know, he hugged me and he said, "Yo, man, I just want you to learn. It's a white guy."
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, that's a devil. You know, he said, "Nah, man, it's not like that, man." I said, "Yo, I'm here to help you learn how to fight. You say you want to be the best and all this, man. You know, you black. You supposed to be harder." But he telling me this, right? He's white guy. He telling me this. I'm like, he said, "Yo, so I'm gonna just teach you how to fight hard. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm not gonna hurt you, but I'm gonna hit you hard though, so you can take it. But I'm not gonna hurt you, you know, in that sense." And that's how I fought with him. Me and him became real good friends, right? We used to go to karate tournaments together. We would never win a trophy. We would always be disqualified. You know why? We would knock people out. We would go there to see if this shit works.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We go there. We go there and say, okay, we gonna fight each other with the judge. Move his hand like that. We go to attack the guy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I put my hand in his face like this here.
Yeah.
Like you move my hand out the way. Move my hand. Soon my hand out the way.
Yeah.
The kick right there. Pow!
Yeah.
The kick knocked the guy out. Oh, and he over the corner. You know, jerking and stuff.
Yeah.
The judges, that's not a fight. And we ain't care. Because that's what we want to see. Can this work? Can this punch work? Can this kick work? My best kick was a spinning back kick.
Spinning back kick.
Sometimes I jumping spinning back kick. Right?
Right?
My front kick and my side kick, because in Taekwondo you specialize in kicks, and I'm gonna tell you, we specialize. I have to give it to the TK school. That's what they call themselves today. They're somewhere in Bensonhurst, somewhere in Brooklyn. They're in Brooklyn. They got a couple of schools in Brooklyn somewhere. But their school is the tops of Taekwondo. You know, their father, I was trained by their father, who was the headmaster there, right? And we used to have contests of kicking. Who could kick the fastest? And I would kick with his son. His son was black belt.
Yeah.
I was like a red belt and stuff there. You know, like getting ready to get black belt. And or even before that, in fact, since I was a yellow belt, I was kicking fast, and I would kick at them, and they said, "Oh no, your kick not faster than mine. Your kick." But them guys had some kicks. They like that there.
Yeah.
Kick straight up, bang. Hold the kick straight up in there like that then.
Yeah.
And bring back when they want to bring it back.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? And I trained with them to such a level that on the streets, y'all ain't never seen. Oh, y'all know about it in the movies.
Right.
Y'all ain't seen this in real.
No doubt.
You know, and I tell them, I'm gonna kick you right there on the count of 3. and by the count of 4, I'm gonna kick you in the face and make it happen.
Yeah.
Bam! Couldn't stop it. Could not. I tell the guy, I'll give you a chance. Put your hand right there.
Yeah.
See a little circle right there? I'm gonna catch you right there.
Right.
I get it. Boom. Oh, smooth.
Yeah.
That's how my kicks were. I was very good with the kicks. I was a great kick man. So when I used to be with the guards, they used to tell me, "Don't kick, man. Don't kick." See, now I'm gonna get into a little science with, you know, because I still want to say how the father taught us the F.O.A, right? But I'll give you a little bit of my experience involved in it too. That you know, by the time I got knowledge in the early '70s, right? Guards was doing the 52.
Yeah, 52 blocks.
You know, 52 blocks, man. You know, and which is on a lot of air sites and lines today.
Yeah.
But I just don't like, you know, what they're not giving credit to the guards. That's what I'm saying. Because a lot of times you say, "Oh, brother so and so do 52," or "Brother so and so he do the 52." So where you learn that from?
Most people's learning. Everybody, when they hit 52 blocks back in the days, they was accredited to jail. Like when you're on the island and you go up north.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
But who taught you in jail?
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Who else was in jail?
Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking
Who was
about.
in jail?
Yeah, it don't go that far back. That information not
Right,
coming
right,
out.
right.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? And what I'm saying is the guards were in jail. We ran the jail.
Indeed.
You know, the day you go, they'd be the Bloods or the Crips or whatever. It was the guards' time. So 52 came out of the guards. Now, I'm not saying that the 52, as they call it, wasn't before that time in jail. Because like I was saying about the gangs, you know, there was, from my understanding of it, because a lot of people say, Kim Ed and this. Let me tell you something. The only thing African about 52 is that we're from Africa.
Right.
That's the only thing African. There was no African culture that came to America and taught no ancient Kemet stuff. Don't try to sideswipe me and like Malcolm said, he was hoodwinked.
Yeah,
he was bamboozled.
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
don't try to put that on me.
Yeah.
Because if such a thing existed, I wouldn't have been the one training in it. I would have definitely heard about that. That'd have been famous. That'd have been great. There ain't no indoor secret, or only a very few Africans learned it. Afro-Americans. Let me tell you something. The only thing African that was in the martial arts was the love for Africa. So brothers started learning Swahili and started picking up African cultures and wearing dashiki. You know what I'm saying? And things of this one nature is making Japanese karate African. The same way the Koreans made Taekwondo. They took Japanese karate, something they was already into, or forced upon, or whatever way you want to look at it, and made it a part their own.
Right.
So when we learned karate or kung fu, we made it our own and put African terminologies to it. That's the only thing, the history of African martial arts. Other than that, you would say Africa doesn't have no martial arts, but we do.
True.
But we're going to that in a minute.
No doubt. No doubt.
So, like I said about the gangs, right? In that early time, like this, they try to detour the gangs, and one of the recreations, I believe in the early 40s, that they put in the jails were boxing.